If your turnover doubled, would your profits double too? Now, it seems reasonable to expect that as your business grows and your sales increases, your profit increases too. But in nearly all instances, this isn't the case. So if this sounds familiar and you're wondering if it's worth all the hassle or should you just go back to being a much smaller business, then I'm going to give you 3 ways that you can measure your profitability to make sure that your profits are truly keeping up with your turnover. Now, when your profits are increasing at a greater rate than your sales number, then this is actually referred to as scaling your business. Now, if you don't know what the difference between growing and scaling is, then make sure you check out this video. I'll put a link above for you. But the key to making sure that you hit any target and ensuring that your profits are increasing at a similar rate to your turnover is to measure things. Now, just measuring your profit in pounds is not enough of an indicator as to what is truly going on in your business. So you need to ensure that when you're having a look at your performance, you're looking from every angle and that you're really painting a complete picture of what is really going on in your business. And this is where you need to start thinking about different ways of measuring your performance and your profitability. Now, as a chartered accountant and finance director, this is absolutely my sweet spot, is driving business performance and profitability with the numbers. So I'm going to give you some inside tips and give you my 3 top ratios that you should be tracking in your business to make sure that your profit stays on track. So the first one is the easiest one by far to get your head around, and it is to track your profit percentage. Now, it's a really simple calculation. You just need to take your profit, divide it by your sales, and you get a percentage. So what tracking this ratio will tell you is whether your sales and your profit are increasing at the same rate, or whether as your sales increases, your profit ratio is actually decreasing. Ideally, you want the percentage to keep increasing. This means that you're making more and more profit in your business for every £1 of sales that you do. So a really critical part of driving this number is just simply to know what the number is. So it's so important that you're reviewing this number on a monthly basis and that you know what the profit percentage is in your business all the time. Because at the end of the day, you can't drive this number if you don't know what it is, and there's no point getting to the end of the year and realizing that your profit percentage has dropped. You need to know right away so that you can be taking action to drive that number in the right direction. So the second number that I think is really important for all businesses to be tracking is their sales to labor ratio. Now, a lot of businesses have this thought about particularly support staff that maybe are not customer facing or not generating sales, and they look at them as a cost. And this is completely not what any employee should be in any business. No employee should just be a cost. Every single employee needs to pay their way, directly or indirectly. For example, as the business owner, normally the first person that most people take on is some sort of office assistant or PA kind of person to help support you. So although the office person is not necessarily generating revenue themselves, they are indirectly freeing up your time to allow you to generate more sales. And therefore, as your labor rate increases, you need to ensure that you are also getting a proportionate increase in your sales number. So to calculate your labor versus sales ratio, you just simply need to take all of your staff costs and divide this by your sales number. And again, you'll get a percentage when you do this. What you actually want this ratio to do is to decrease, because that means that your staff costs are lower for every £100 of sales that you do. So you want to try and drive this number down. As you're taking on more people in your business and your business is growing, this is a really, really important way of making sure that every single one of your team is generating value in your business and contributing to an increase in your sales. Because at the end of the day, if we don't make sales, we do not have a business. So really quickly, before we move on to number 3, if you found this content helpful so far and want to receive more tips just like this, then make sure you hit the subscribe button and also hit the like button as well. It just helps to push this useful information to more small business owners in the UK too. So the third ratio that I track religiously in all of my businesses is the gross margin or gross profit. Your gross profit is simply your sales less your direct costs or your cost of sales. So really simply put, if you sell a product, it's how much does it cost you to buy or make that product and to package and deliver it to your customers. So forget your overhead overheads like your rent and rates and things like that. It's just the costs that are directly attributed to your product. Now, again, you want to look at this as a percentage so that you can see trends, because as your business grows, it's really easy to get caught up in values. And that's why I think it's important that whenever we're talking about trends and making sure that your business is growing and your finances are growing in line with it, percentages are really, really imperative to do this. So I think it's important that you should always know how much gross margin you make on every single sale. So you might not know it off by heart, but you should have it in a spreadsheet somewhere or on a system, so that when you're pricing a customer and you're having a conversation with your customers about pricing, you can make a decision based on the profit that sale is going to put into your business. And that's because once you've made gross profit, there's only two things that can happen to it. Firstly, you can spend it on the overheads in your business, like rent and rates and utilities and computer equipment and things like that, or it becomes profit. So once you paid for all of the overheads in your business, the more gross profit you make, the more profit you make. Now, because most small businesses have quite consistent overheads on a monthly basis, actually the gross margin is a really, really good indicator of your overall profit for the month. So what you tend to see is that if you have a really strong month for gross margin or gross profit, then actually you will have a really strong month for profit. And that's why I think it's so important that every small business knows their gross margin, not only on a monthly basis, but live information. You understand on a daily basis how much gross profit you're making, and you are able to use this information to make smart decisions when it comes to making sales to your customers and pricing your products. So those are my 3 profitability ratios that every single business should be tracking to make sure that their profit growth keeps track with their sales growth, and that you continue to make the money that you deserve for the effort and the risk that you are putting into running your own business. So having these types of ratios and using them in your business on a daily basis to make smart decisions that increase your profit, improve your cash flow, and ultimately grow your business are all examples of financial management. So if you're interested in learning more tips to grow your business just like this, then make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and don't forget to join me in my free Facebook group too.